Here's your October 2020 energy update. I'm going to show you how to get through what could become a very tumultuous month. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I help people to spiritually awaken so they can enter a conscious path of ascension. So make sure to subscribe so you catch all my videos to guide you on your awakening journey. So let's talk about October 2020. I think this month is going to unfold with perhaps even more chaos and could be quite tumultuous. So there are two things that you most want to be focused on. The first thing is to maintain a cosmic perspective of reality, and the second thing is to stay very, very connected to your heart. Because we are actually being led farther and farther away into a very controlled reality. And I'm going to explain to you guys exactly how that is happening. So I really want to emphasize that it is extremely important to maintain your individual sovereignty, especially when it comes to your emotional state and also as well your mental state. But I really want to help you focus on your emotional state because ultimately our emotions can act as very much as a driving force toward our actions and what we choose to do with our life and our overall experience. And the other reason that it's important to focus on your emotional state is because your emotional energy actually serves to set your vibration. So you want to make sure that you remain emotionally stable and in charge of your experience as opposed to being reactive to whatever the media and the outside world feeds you with. So let me bring up the dreaded subject of politics. However, I'm going to bring it up in a very different context. I want to bring it up in the context of you as a cosmic being, not as an earth being, okay? Because as earth beings, there's no way to even talk about it without causing a lot of strife instantaneously. So let us all step back as the cosmic beings that we are, as beings who are infinite and who are really intending to ascend to a much higher plane of reality. Let us observe what is actually happening on the subject of politics from that perspective so that we don't lose our way and end up completely controlled in our entire perception of reality. Now, I remember a time when politics was more on the side, okay? We all had our lives, our goals, our intentions, and politics was just a section of life. But what's happened is it's become our entire life. It's almost like this weird energy that's just seeping into everything. So it's kind of the point now where literally everything you do, say, think, and feel is political. And you notice how we use the term politically correct? We don't even think of it as socially correct anymore. It's just everything is politics. And this, you guys, is completely by design. So what they're trying to do is completely divide us and reduce our consciousness, lower our intellect to the level of tribalism. Guys, at a cosmic level, at an extraterrestrial level, if you will, we are supposed to be well evolved beyond such things. But we're being forced into tribes, we're being forced into highly controlled realities. So I'm going to explain to you how this works. And then when I'm finished, what I would suggest that you do is don't take on anything that I'm saying, like, oh, I have to believe what Saratoga says. The most important thing is that you find your own path, because my goal in bringing the subject up is to open a door of freedom so that you can walk through that door and come back into being the sovereign being in the cosmos that you really are meant to be. See, I've been saying for a very long time, we need to function as cosmic beings. If we get trapped in this earth-based reality, we're not going to find our way, you guys. We're going to very easily get lost. So if you want to remain clear-minded, if you want to remain empowered at the highest possible level, if you want to have the consciousness necessary for you to ascend to what we are calling 5D, but it's actually much more profound than what we think of as 5D. If you want to have the consciousness that empowers you to ascend to that level, you must view your life from a cosmic level. Okay, that's the only way you can really have perspective on the entire situation. And that's what we need, you guys. We need to have perspective. So I'm going to use the example of politics in the US, but whatever country you're in, I'm sure you can apply what I'm talking about no matter where you are in the world, because this is not about the politics themselves. This is about how this is being used against all of us. And the reason I'm talking about this now is because I believe that this topic is going to be front and center through the entire month of October, so we can look at this as an opportunity to really understand what is actually going on. So let's start by talking about humans in their natural state of higher consciousness. We human beings are meant to be citizens of this planet who are the driving force of the power of love and creativity. That is who we're meant to be at a much higher level of consciousness in our natural state. Now, politicians are actually a mere handful of people compared to all of the people on this earth. And we give them so much power over us because we have bought into the media's rhetoric for decades and decades. So now those efforts have been incredibly intensified to the point where the goal is to create two tribes who are terrified of each other, always in fear, and that way we can be easily manipulated. And here's how it works. Both sides stoke fear. Both sides claim they're going to save you from the other side. And then we obey whichever side we are on because we have been so terrorized about the other side. And we're so obsessed with this tribalism now on a collective basis. You know, the people behind the scenes, the controllers, they can do whatever they want because we're just busy fighting with each other. So in this month of October, it's going to be very important that you are able to get perspective on all of this political turmoil so that you can retain your sanity. It's going to be so important that you retain your focus on ascension so that you retain your power. And this is going to be a little bit difficult because we are already so indoctrinated into political tribalism. And once we buy into the tribalism, we emotionally align ourselves with one side or the other. So here's how the media very insidiously programs us. They start telling us that literally every single thing in our lives is a political statement. Every word out of our mouths, everything we do, what we like, what we don't like, what we eat, what we don't eat, it's all a political statement. That's how it starts. And then they are very specific about defining exactly what the criteria is for one side and also what the criteria is for the other side. So in other words, if you do this, this, and this, well, you belong in this category. And if on the other side, if you do the other things, you belong in this category. So they're very cleverly putting us in these cages of thought. These thought prisons so that we identify ourselves as one side or the other. And then both of those sides terrorize their group into being terrified of the other group. It's kind of like this. If this side wins, we're going to be destroyed. And the other side saying the same thing. If this side wins, we're going to be destroyed. Do you guys see how it's the exact same thing on both sides? So everybody's put in a total survival state. And that's how they can generate so much fear and anger. And little by little, we all lose ourselves. We all lose our individuality. We lose a sense of who we really are. We take on the identity of the tribe. And it's all being completely controlled. And hey, you know, the powers that be that operate behind the scenes can therefore manipulate everybody on both sides. They are like the puppeteers of the entire situation. And, you know, I kind of think the politicians are like the talking heads that the puppeteers behind the scenes are operating. And their goal is to say, hey, over here, I'm on your side. And then on this side, they say, hey, over here, I'm on your side. So then everybody gets focused on that, and then they start battling each other. So guys, what they really want, they want us to tear each other apart, and they want us to tear ourselves apart. You guys ever hear that old strategy called divide and conquer? So when half the population is your mortal enemy, you can't think straight anymore. You can't reason anything out anymore. And the media goes on both sides. They play both sides of this game. So you have one faction of the media that's stoking one side, the other faction of the media that's stoking the other side, and both sides are just at each other's throats. Now, let me give you a real life example of how crazy this can be. And this happened a while back with a previous president. Gosh, I don't know, at least 10 years ago, maybe more, I'm not sure. This was when I was in kids' activities with my own kids, and I was talking to other moms, and there was this one mom who was very politically entrenched on her side with her particular tribe. That tribe lost in an election, and her 15-year-old daughter was so terrified, you guys. She was a dancer. She wanted to be a ballet dancer. Her 15-year-old daughter was so terrified at who had been elected that she actually said she wanted to amputate her feet so that this president couldn't send her to war. That's how crazy this can become. That's how terrified this young woman was. And her mom thought, of course she would feel that way. Why wouldn't she? So this is how crazy this kind of stuff can be. And now it's so much worse. So all I want to point out to you guys is that this is going to be really amplified in the month of October, which is why I'm bringing it up now. See, when you're willing to shape your life according to what that tribe or that tribe represents, when you're willing to shape your life according to what the media tells you, the media on all sides tells you that tribe represents, you're in trouble because you're really being controlled. Now, I want to emphasize that I am not saying you should never be politically active. I'm not saying that, you guys. What I'm saying is keep your bearings. If you are inspired from your heart to be active politically in any way at all, well, then by all means do so. That's not what this is about. What I'm trying to emphasize is do so with a clear mind and a centered heart. Stay mentally and emotionally sovereign. Don't allow the media to control and define your perception of yourself. Use your higher intelligence to take whatever action you feel inspired to take from a higher level of consciousness. See, the thing is, you guys, we don't really know the background story, or I'll say the background reason as to why they are so intensely stoking this tribalistic kind of society. We don't really know exactly why they're doing it, but I kind of got a feeling it's probably not for our good. So here's the bottom line. When all this chaos erupts in October, when things get really crazy, when things get really divided, really heated, take whatever position you feel motivated and inspired to take. But here's the thing, you guys, leave out the hatred, leave out the anger, and leave out the fear. Those are the things that are going to tie you down to a lower timeline and prevent your ascension to a higher level of reality. Because you know what? You can actually take those same actions out of love and out of consciousness and out of clarity. You don't have to take them out of fear and anger and hatred. Because see, when you do it out of those low vibrational emotions, whatever actions you take, you are in a reactive mode. You are reacting to something that has been programmed into your consciousness. So what I'm suggesting is take whatever action you're going to take from a place of sovereignty, from a place of clarity, from a place of inspiration, and do it from a place of love. And don't buy into the mass manipulation of our consciousness as a humanity designed to pit us against one another and tear us apart individually and collectively. See, one of the things that we're taught on this planet is that fear is very, very important. Fear is going to keep us safe. Fear is going to prevent us from doing bad things and harmful things to ourselves. That's a lie, you guys. Fear makes us kind of dumb. Fear makes us so that we can't think straight. You know what really protects us? You know what helps us to make the best, most positive decisions in our lives? Consciousness, clarity, higher consciousness, heart-centeredness. When you are clear, when you are empowered, when you live from that sense of pure knowing and you're not allowing yourself to be indoctrinated and manipulated and categorized by the media, when you function from that clear place of yourself as a cosmic being, you're going to make choices with power and certainty. So I am in no way wanting to tell you what choices to make, because if I did, that'd just be more of the same, right? I just want to suggest that whatever choices you make, you do so from a higher level of consciousness, from being centered and sovereign from within yourself. So let me just show you a little bit about what you can do to maintain your sovereignty, stay centered, and stay clear-minded. The first thing is to recognize that you are a cosmic being. You are physically present in a physical body for the purpose of facilitating your own ascension and supporting the ascension of other beings. Because once ascension, that process is complete, all this stuff is gone, you guys. This stuff is completely irrelevant. So you might as well start now and center yourself with that which has the greatest longevity in this universe. So that's the first thing. And the best way to do that is to view life as an observer. Be an observer of the planet Earth. Be a neutral observer, but an intelligent observer who knows how to make the choices that are most aligned with your heart and your highest sense of self. And the second thing to do is to cultivate those high vibrational experiences inside your body, your mind, and your emotions. Positive experiences of love, gratitude, happiness, optimism, and peace, and calmness. Those are all very empowering experiences because they keep you centered, they keep you in harmony with your highest self, and you can maintain yourself as an empowered entity. And it also keeps your mind a whole lot clearer. And as I always say, if you want to do the best possible thing for yourself, meditate every single morning. Start your day from a place of meditation, becoming centered, getting in touch with your heart, in touch with your infinite self. Align your energy, come into harmony with your highest level of consciousness and intelligence. And then enter your day as the cosmic being of light that you truly are, and the very wise being of light that you are, who's not going to get trapped in all of this chaos. And then you can calmly go about making the choices, taking the actions that you deem important from your particular vantage point on this planet, from your particular level of consciousness, as you feel is best for you and is most aligned with your heart and your highest mind and your highest self. And here's the really cool thing about this, you guys. This way, you can transition through the month of October like a laser of light where you're not being reactive to all this craziness and all this chaotic energy. Instead, you're passing through it like a light, like a laser, a transmutational force as you move through the coming month of October, and you are going to feel so much better at the completion of this month and so much more prepared to go into the rest of this year. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you think would benefit from this conversation. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with new videos to support you on your awakening and ascension journey. And with that, I'm sending you loads of love, light, and positive energy. And I will see you in the next video. Namaste, everyone.